In the heart of Lagos, at the grandest hall of Victoria Island, chaos erupted as whispers spread like wildfire. James, the groom, had a secret too big to hide, and it threatened to upend everything. Before this day, Belinda had been known as the best wedding planner in Lagos. Her touch turned simple gatherings into splendid celebrations, and her name was synonymous with flawless weddings. Today was supposed to be her crowning glory, her last wedding before retiring to a quiet life in Ibadan. Belinda had met James and Annabelle a year ago. James, a charming and successful banker, and Annabelle, a pediatrician whose kindness lit up every room. They seemed perfect together, a match made in heaven. Over the months, Belinda worked closely with them, selecting the finest lace for Annabelle's gown and choosing the most exquisite roses for the bouquets. Emma, James's sister, had been integral too, flying in from London to taste cakes and pick out table settings. Their brother, John, was less involved, buried in his work as a lawyer, but always supportive. The big day was upon them, and as the sun rose, everything was in place. The hall was decorated with elegant drapes and twinkling lights, the air filled with the scent of jasmine and the softest notes of a string quartet warming up. As the morning turned into afternoon, guests started arriving, buzzing with excitement. Emily, the best friend of the bride, was adjusting the train of Annabelle's gown when her phone buzzed. Her face paled as she read the message, her hands suddenly shaky. Ivana, another close friend, noticed her distress and quickly came to her side. Before they could retreat to discuss, Belinda appeared, her planner's instinct sensing a disturbance. "What's wrong, Emily?" Belinda asked, her eyes sharp and concerned. It's James," Emily stuttered, handing over the phone to Belinda. The message was from an unknown number, with a photo that sent chills down Belinda's spine. It was James, but not the James they knew. This photo showed him in a compromising situation that suggested his loyalties lay elsewhere, far from Annabelle. Belinda's mind raced. She had dealt with wedding day jitters and last-minute cancellations before, but nothing like this. Her first thought was to protect Annabelle, to shield her from the heartbreak on what should have been the happiest day of her life. "Let's keep calm," Belinda whispered to Emily and Ivana, her voice steady despite the storm brewing inside. "We need to verify this. It could be a mistake, a misunderstanding." But deep down, Belinda feared the worst. She had seen the signs, dismissed them as pre-wedding stress. James taking secretive phone calls, his sudden trips out of town, and now this. As Belinda prepared to confront James, the guests settled into their seats, oblivious to the drama unfolding behind the scenes. The air was filled with music and laughter, the stark contrast to the growing tension palpable. Belinda found James in a quiet corner of the hall, his face ashen as he saw her approach. Belinda approached James with a calm demeanor, her years of experience giving her an almost serene presence amidst the turmoil. James looked up, confusion etched across his face as he noticed the seriousness in her eyes. "James, we need to talk," Belinda said quietly, guiding him further away from the bustling crowd. Her heart was heavy. She had grown fond of the couple and hated that their special day was shadowed by such a grim revelation. "What is it, Belinda? Is there a problem with the arrangements?" James asked, his voice tinged with nervousness. Belinda handed him the phone, showing him the message that Emily had received. She watched his expression change from confusion to shock, then to a resigned guilt. It was clear he had been caught off guard, but not by the nature of the information. "James, this is serious. We need to understand what's going on here," she pressed, her voice firm yet not accusatory. James sighed, running his hands through his hair. "I never wanted any of this to come out, not today," he murmured. "It's all a big mess, Belinda. That photo, it's from a time before I met Annabelle. But I thought it was all behind me." Belinda listened as James explained his past, a brief but intense relationship that had ended badly, with unresolved issues that now threatened to ruin his future. "She promised she'd never bring it up again," James confessed. "I thought it was over." "We need to tell Annabelle," Belinda said after a moment's pause, her voice soft but decisive. "She needs to hear it from you, James. Whatever decision she makes, it's better she hears the truth before the vows." James nodded slowly, the weight of the situation settling on his shoulders. Together, they returned to where Annabelle was getting her final touch-ups before the ceremony. Annabelle looked up, her smile fading as she saw the serious looks on Belinda and James' faces. "What's wrong?" she asked, a hint of worry creeping into her voice. Belinda stepped back, giving James the space to speak. The room fell silent except for the low hum of the air conditioner as James took a deep breath and began to explain everything to Annabelle. As James spoke, Belinda observed the range of emotions crossing Annabelle's face: surprise, hurt, confusion. It was a testament to the complexity of love and trust, played out in real time. When James finished, Annabelle was silent for a long time, processing the news. Finally, she spoke. "I need some time to think," she said quietly, her voice steady despite the clear pain in her eyes. "Please, can everyone leave me for a moment?" As the room cleared, Belinda stepped outside, her mind racing with possible scenarios. This wedding, her last, was turning out to be her most challenging. She wondered how things would unfold, whether the wedding would go on or if the day would end in heartbreak. Meanwhile, the guests remained blissfully unaware of the drama, the hall buzzing with the joyful anticipation of the ceremony that was scheduled to start soon. Belinda took a moment to gather herself, preparing to manage whatever outcome the day might bring. Outside the bride's room, Belinda stood by, allowing Annabelle the time she needed while managing the flow of the event. Her focus was divided between the unfolding personal drama and her professional responsibility to handle the situation with as much discretion as possible. Meanwhile, guests mingled in the hall, sipping on champagne and nibbling on canapes, completely oblivious to the tension brewing just a few doors away. Belinda had instructed the staff to carry on with the festivities, to keep the atmosphere light and celebratory until they had clear direction on how to proceed. After a tense half-hour, the door to the bride's room opened, and Annabelle emerged. Her eyes were red, but her posture was composed. She approached Belinda, who immediately gave her a supportive nod. "I've decided to go ahead with the ceremony," Annabelle declared, her voice carrying a mix of resolve and vulnerability. "But after that, we will need to sort things out privately." Belinda breathed a quiet sigh of relief and admiration for Annabelle's strength. She quickly coordinated with the staff to ensure everything would proceed as planned. Turning to Annabelle, she said, "You are incredibly brave. Let's make this a beautiful moment for you, no matter what comes after." Annabelle managed a small, grateful smile. "Thank you, Belinda. Let's do this." As the guests took their seats, the musicians began the introductory notes of the bridal march. The atmosphere was charged with excitement, and as Annabelle walked down the aisle, radiant in her exquisite gown, there was not a single hint of the turmoil that had preceded this moment. James stood at the altar, his expression somber. As Annabelle reached him, they shared a look that was both poignant and hopeful. The ceremony proceeded with its beautiful vows and heartfelt promises. The guests, caught up in the moment, cheered as the couple was pronounced husband and wife. After the ceremony, while the guests moved to the reception area, Annabelle and James took a moment for themselves. Belinda, overseeing the transition, felt a bittersweet pang. This was her last wedding, and it had tested all her skills, not just as a planner, but as a human being navigating the complexities of relationships and secrets. As the evening wore on, the reception was full of dancing, laughter, and joy. Belinda watched as Annabelle and James managed to put aside their earlier distress and truly engage in their celebration. It was a testament to their commitment to try and work through their issues together. Belinda's final event before retirement was indeed eventful, filled with unexpected challenges and emotional depth. It reminded her why she had loved this job so much, because beyond the decorations, music, and food, it was ultimately about the people and their stories. As the night drew to a close, Belinda received heartfelt thanks from both families, her professionalism and grace under pressure acknowledged and appreciated. She felt a profound sense of fulfillment as she packed up her planner's kit for the last time. This was the end of her career as a wedding planner, but the memories of this day, like so many others, would stay with her forever. The story of James and Annabelle, with all its complexities, was a fitting finale. As the reception dwindled down, the last of the guests trickling out under the warm Lagos night, Belinda remained to oversee the cleanup. The string quartet packed away their instruments, the caterers cleared the tables, and the floral arrangements were carefully distributed as keepsakes for the guests. Despite the exhaustion that clung to her bones, Belinda felt an energizing mix of satisfaction and relief. In the quiet aftermath, James and Annabel approached her, their faces softer than they had been all day, wearing the tired but genuine smiles of a couple who had weathered a storm together. "Belinda," James started, his voice earnest, "I can't begin to express how grateful we are. Today could have gone so differently, and it was your calm and wisdom that held it together." Annabel nodded, her hand squeezing James's. "Yes, thank you. Not just for today, but for everything leading up to it. You've been more than a wedding planner. You've been a steadying force in a whirlwind." Belinda smiled, her heart swelling with pride at their words. "Thank you both. Remember, every marriage has its trials, but it's the courage to face them together that counts. I wish you both strength and happiness as you navigate this journey." With final goodbyes, James and Annabel departed, leaving Belinda alone in the now empty hall. She took a moment to look around, remembering the hundreds of celebrations she had orchestrated in her long career. Each one had been unique, a story of its own, but this last one would always hold a special place in her heart. Finally, it was time to leave. Belinda turned off the lights, the click echoing slightly in the vast space. She stepped out into the cool night, locking the door behind her. The chapter of her life filled with weddings was closed, but she was ready for whatever adventures awaited her next. As she drove home, the streets of Lagos whispered with the sounds of life and laughter from other celebrations around the city. Belinda felt a deep connection to these sounds, a reminder that life was a series of events, joyous, challenging, unexpected, and all worth celebrating. Reaching her home in Ibadan, she knew a new chapter was about to begin. Retirement would not be about sitting still but about discovering new passions, perhaps even writing down the stories of the weddings she had planned, each a testament to love, resilience, and the beauty of human connections. As she settled into bed, Belinda felt a sense of peace. Her career had been fulfilling, her impact profound, and her legacy as Lagos' best wedding planner secure. She drifted off to sleep, her dreams filled with the echoes of music and laughter, the perfect finale to a life beautifully orchestrated. As our story comes to a close, let us reflect on the journey of Belinda, James, and Annabel. Through the whirlwind of emotions and unexpected revelations, they each learned that the true essence of any relationship is transparency, understanding, and resilience. No matter how well-planned or beautifully orchestrated an event might be, the real beauty emerges from facing life's unexpected challenges together, with honesty and courage. Now, it's your turn to share. What did you learn from this story? What thoughts or insights do you take away from Belinda's final wedding planning adventure? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. We would love to hear your perspectives and lessons drawn from this story. Thank you for joining us for this heartfelt tale. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this video to help spread the message of resilience and truth in relationships. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to bringing you more stories that touch the heart and provoke thought. Once again, thank you for watching, and don't forget to comment with your insights and subscribe for more stories like this one. Bye for now, and keep celebrating the beauty of life's complexities.